Hey, and welcome to Chat Grapple Cheap Pops with me, JB, and Chris Dredd. We are
Easy.
back again. Episode 10. Did we think we'd make it this far?
Well, no, to be honest, we didn't even really know what we were doing when we started. We just thought, you know what? We bloody love wrestling.
Yeah, let's
We
have some
kind
fun.
of know what we're talking about. We never would have dreamed that we would be getting by episode 10 the amount of views that we're actually getting on the videos. That's been absolutely amazing. Just well happy, mate.
And yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. I mean, with the subscriber count and the views and everything else, like we didn't expect the response we got, and here we are, 10 episodes in,
Yeah, baby. The big 1-0.
and we have picked an absolute dumpster fire of a show for episode 10. Let's
if you
be honest.
if you're gonna do something, do it properly. And
Yeah,
what we the way we pick our episodes is like so fucking dumb. We don't even like we talk to each other and we go, what do you reckon? This one, this one, this one. We just literally random. There's no rhyme and reason. And
yeah,
like sometimes there's consistencies between episodes. It's like, oh, we've literally just done this episode, and in this one something happens with this person that was in that one. So we're lucky in that way, but we like to be as random as possible. And this one is about as random as you can get, to be honest, man. But before
it's
that, Jordan, just very quickly, I'd like all our video viewers to acknowledge Jordan's sexy background that he's got right there. The old Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast logo. You've got
there
Mick
it is.
Foley there. Oh, you got Mick Foley there, just on your shoulder. Hey, Mick. And also there's a great cheap pop in this pay per view as well. So Mick
Oh
would have
yeah,
loved that.
it's
It's great.
it's cheaper than cheap. That
Um,
one.
so Jordan's rocking the Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops podcast background. I'm still rocking the figures and the sticker books and things like that. So I will be rocking a background at some point soon as well. It's just I'm waiting to get a greeny screeny. But until then, you've got the gorgeous JB with the sexier logo behind him. And
And
it
I'm
looks,
I'm kind of gutted we didn't have Mick in for last week
oh no, it would have been great,
because
man. Yeah, look at him.
the Royal Rumble tie-in and all that.
Bang, bang.
But we're here again, and we go again, and this is a hilarious show for so many reasons.
Great.
But
There are.
before we dive into the show, we will remind people to subscribe, like, comment. Chris, do you want to reel off where we are, like on what
Yeah,
platforms?
we're on like Stitcher, Listen Notes, Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on iHeartRadio. We're literally every single podcast platform you can mention. Podbean, the lot. We are literally anywhere. All you've got to do, go on to Google. Just get on that Google and just
On the
Google
Google.
Chat, Grapple, and Cheap Pops podcast, and you will find us on a massive list of podcast platforms. But also, if you're watching a video, you will see our beautiful mugs here on YouTube. And please, guys, please, we've had a massive influx of subscribers, which has been absolutely fantastic, but we need more. We're getting up to that 500 subscribers, but we want to push through to 1,000. We want to get there because, as we were saying before, we want to do giveaways, we want to do competitions.
Exactly.
We want to be improving the content that we're going to give for you guys, because we're just two working guys got on a budget, so we can't be too flash and too, we're as good as we can be at the moment. Obviously, with the whole coronavirus thing going on, unfortunately, we cannot be sitting next to each other in a studio setting, which will be happening fairly soon. To be honest, we could probably do that now because people are going back to work, and I'm sure, people sitting next to each other a meter away, we could make a nice little studio. So maybe that's something to think about
And
coming
like,
soon.
let's not get it twisted at all. The prizes that we have, we'll be able to offer are pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Pretty damn good. You know, we've been collecting since, you know, day dot, it feels like.
Jordan,
And there's some gems.
you know, Jordan basically has been holding out on me. He's a motherfucker because you know, I knew he had an extensive collection. I knew that. The fact that he had a big Josh and that line about and that, you know what I mean. But he he's been holding back on me, and I keep getting these like figure porn pictures from him, and I'm sure people who are on Twitter at chat grapple pops will be able to have seen the pictures that George's been putting up recently of the figures that he's been pulling out of his garage or garage.
The horrible truth is that that's just the beginning. There's so much more to come.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
But
I haven't scratched the surface yet.
like you're saying, we have been collecting for decades, and we are still collectors. We're still buying shit, much to our partners' disappointment. You know, we are still buying stuff. You know, we will always be collectors. You know, it's one of those things. And Jordan's got some stuff, and I've got some stuff that is quite rare and not a lot of people have. You know, plus we've also got the other fodder that everyone's got. You know, but we just fucking love it, man, and we would love to give something back to the audience, to the people, and we just want to thank everyone who's been watching every single week. We thank you so much.
And yeah, we really do, and we're thanking them so much, and we're so grateful that we're going to bring them WCW Spring Stampede 2000.
Yeah, just as a little thank you, we're going to give you one of the ropiest shows you will probably ever see in your life.
Now, we said at the beginning of the whole thing how positive we were going to be, and I'm sure there will be positives in this when we make each other laugh, because there's a lot of silliness. There's a lot of like I said, it's a bit fucked.
It's a bit fucked. The whole angle and situation. I mean, as we do every week, Jordan's been watching on the network, and myself, I have been watching on the VHS. And I don't just have one copy of this on VHS. I actually have 2 copies of this.
He loved it so much, he has 2 copies.
I love it so much. Yes, that's correct. I love it so much that I've got 2. But not for the reasons that you might add. See, I've got 1 copy that I watch, and it's open, and it's fine. But then I've got another copy here that is completely sealed. It is a completely sealed, brand new WCW 2000. That's 20 years old, Jordan. 20 years old, completely sealed.
It hasn't aged well.
It's, you know, it's brand new, unopened. So yeah, I love this pay-per-view so much. I've got 2 of them, and one of them's sealed, unopened.
Yeah, I
believe this is worth quite a few quid, because the only other sealed WCW videos that I've actually seen online have been in the States, and they're going for about $200 each. So okay. I don't know if there's any other jagoffs in the UK that would actually have this apart from me. I've also got I've got.
Remember how much you paid for it?
Yeah, I've got 2 copies of Slamboree as well. From 2000. Around that time.
Oh,
one sealed, brand new still, and one that I watch. So yeah, I've been on the old VHS, as we do. This is how we roll. And Jordan watched the network, man. So yeah, do you want to give him a quick brief intro on this, bro? We're fucking
okay.
April 16th, year 2000.
It is. It's April 2000. WCW is falling away. I mean, they would be done in 11 months' time. They would be completely gone. I decided to jump into the 83 Weeks podcast with Eric Bischoff and Conrad this week. I had a quick listen, and Eric shared a lot of his memories from that night and that show. And it's safe to say that he wasn't in complete control at this point. He was sharing the responsibilities with Vince Russo, Terry Taylor, Kevin Sullivan, and maybe a couple of others that escape me at the minute. This is sadly WCW's last big win of a show, the last big numbers that they do, and it's not pretty reading. Like, it wasn't pretty listening. It wasn't good listening to. Spring Stampede '99 did 255,000 buys on pay-per-view. This one did 150. This one did 115,000, and this would be the largest one they did. Like, this would be the biggest one they did, like, to the end.
I was going to say, like,
they wouldn't get anything in this. 200
odd thousand for a pay-per-view is still not great, though, right? Like,
I mean, considering like today's sort of standards, like AEW, you know, it's not, we don't mention them a lot. They average, I think their numbers are hovering around 100,000. So,
I mean, this is 20 years ago.
It's still bigger.
Yeah. Well, I like the tweet that you've retweeted earlier of Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
we'll mention it because, you know, he's correct as well, really. Like, you know, you know, I think you've mentioned it before as well, that these Wednesday night wars, you know, when they're talking about it, it's like,
yeah, it's not a war.
It's not a fucking war, man. It's not even a scuffle. You know, it's one of those things, and obviously WWE have put NXT on the same day to kind of take away from AEW, obviously.
They've done that. They've done that well.
You know, they've done it well. It's, you know, it's the same kind of tactics as what was used in the Monday Night Wars, but it's nowhere close, man. Like,
this is what I mean. Like, you would, on a Monday night during the good times, you know, you're looking at 11 million viewers. You know, we're not even getting 1.5 million on a Wednesday night, and they're fighting and arguing about it, and you see it a lot, and it's not worth the typing. It's not worth the tweet half the time. It's just, you know, it's nothing. You know, it's not a war. It's a row.
It's a row. It's an argument. It's a little.
It's a drive-by argument. Yeah.
Also, I just want to say I'm wearing the Chat Grapple and Cheap Bops t-shirt today, as well. What t-shirt you sporting? Anything wrestling?
I don't know if you can see that.
I'm your pappy.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm your pappy. Eddie Guerrero.
Yes, you are, baby. Yes, you are. Oi, just a quick one. Conrad from the JR's podcast and from all that.
Yeah, 83 weeks in, yeah, Bruce.
His brother is married to a wrestler who's currently in WWE, correct?
Conrad? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I swear. I was listening to JR talking to him, and they were talking about about Eric Bischoff and WWE and whatever, and the way that the WWE looked at what was happening with Nitro. And he said something like, well, you would know because your sister-in-law is deep in the WWE universe. Or
what? Oh, yeah, no, Conrad is married to one of Ric Flair's daughters, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so there you go. That's what, because I was like, who's Conrad married to then?
Yeah. He's married into the Flair dynasty.
Woo!
That's it. And speaking of Ric Flair, he does heavily feature on this show.
Fucking hell!
Now,
oh god!
just before Spring Stampede, WCW were hitting the restart button, like literally. They decided to vacate all their championships, and I mean, what a great idea! It
was about a week before this pay-per-view, April the 10th. It was April the 10th, where they had all the wrestlers in the ring and they were vacating all the titles because at this point, Vince Russo had come to WCW and he'd brought Jeff Jarrett with him.
Chosen one, baby.
You know, and we mentioned in the last podcast how much a fan of Jeff Jarrett that Vince Russo is. And let's not get it twisted. Vince Russo follows us on Twitter and he's retweeted a couple of our things, you know what I mean? And we do rate Vince Russo. But this was just this pay-per-view was just nuts.
I'm gonna put it down to a clash of styles because Eric has his way and Vince has his way, and those ways are polar opposites. You know, Eric freely admits on the podcast I listened to that his way of thinking is to keep the older established guys, so you keep your viewers, you keep your revenue up and all that. And Vince Russo wanted to bring in the new guys, the young guys,
the new blood, dude,
the new blood, who he felt could draw money and make their way and keep WCW in business. And it became a very confusing mess. I mean, I don't know what you saw, but the first clip I've got on this show at the beginning is the montage at the beginning is Russo calling Ric Flair a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've got. The first line on here underneath where it says WCW Spring Stampede 2000, April the 16th, 2000, the United Center, Chicago. The first line is Russo says Flair is a piece of shit. and Russo beats Flair with a baseball bat.
He says he's going to be his New York bitch and all this. I'm like,
that's
what
right.
the man? Like, come on.
Right.
Like, it's, the worst line of the show comes up pretty quickly straight after in the same video clip. And this is Hulk Hogan saying he's going to eat Eric Bischoff's ass alive. I don't think I want to know what that means.
There's a lot of censorship in my VHS copy.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They cut out the word hell, and they cut out the word damn, and they cut out the word arse. It's always it always boggles my mind why in America they have such a hard time with the word damn. Like I understand that it's
Ron Simmons seems to love it.
But this is the thing, like it some people say, oh, it's a swear word or whatever, and it's like, come on now, come on.
But I mean, this to me felt more like a longer version of Nitro than a pay-per-view, because it opens with a backstage skit,
but not as good. Because it's one crazy thing you see as soon as they swoop in, as they're coming into the broadcast colleagues, shall we call them? Is a sign that says
tonight. Very different, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you've got a sign, a massive sign that just says Steiner is gay. You just
wow. I saw that one. Yeah.
Some of the signs are absolutely fantastic, and some of the stuff that's going on in the crowd will also get an honourable mention. You've got all sorts of people dressed up like all sorts. You've got people doing crazy stuff in the crowd.
We tend to keep our eye out on the crowd, because we have come across things like Double Denim Sting, and there was the kid who was just in his underpants as dressed up as a warrior. Yeah, like we've seen some weird things, but yeah, I mean, a three-man booth. Scott Hudson, who I have not seen a lot of, to be fair. I don't really know what is, I think he did maybe Worldwide or something before he got to Nitro and all that. Tony Schiavone's still hanging around, and Mark Madden, who Bischoff freely admits was put in there to appeal to the hardcore fans, or the marks, as we call ourselves, or smarks. Smart mark.
And he uses a bit of wrestling terminology quite a bit through this pay-per-view. He says a few things that are just not kayfabe at all.
And I didn't mind Mark Madden, to be fair.
He had some good one-liners. There's some great one-liners in this. Yeah. Good ones.
And we open with a backstage skit, and it's Bischoff, Russo, Tori Wilson snuggling up to Billy Kidman.
Yeah.
And they're wondering how Hogan's checked himself out of the hospital from, the Nitro before, where he gets attacked by them. Kidman refers to himself as the Kid, which I'm sure meant he had to pay Sean Waltman a few royalties, maybe.
Yeah.
You don't call yourself a kid. That's a Waltman deal for sure. And it's New Blood against the Millionaires Club. I mean, what a terrible name for a group. Millionaires Club.
This this deal, right? I'm going to talk about TNA very briefly, and I mean very briefly. I'm sorry. It's been This is like, as you can see on the video, yeah. It says WCW NWO, and even on there it says WCW NWO. Okay, the fucking NWO are non-existent on this pay-per-view. There's not one mention of the NWO in one piece of it. And what you're seeing is
this is like TNA booking, right?
well, it is, because what you add, this whole Millionaires Club and New Blood. So you had the New Blood, which was mainly the newer, younger guys and a few other guys, and then you had the Millionaires Club, which was your guys like your DDPs, your Sting, your Hogans, you know, your Lugers and all that, your Flairs, who were basically the older guys, the guys that have made their millions, who are trying to hold the spots back from the inverted commas spots from the younger guys. And TNA tried this with the Main Event Mafia. So they had the Main Event Mafia, which was fucking Booker T, Kurt Angle, Sting, possibly Flair at one point. But it's like a rehash deal of this whole faction idea to kind of make things to have this kind of dynamic of two factions fighting, you know. And it was I mean, like you say, we try to be a positive podcast, but sometimes things just don't work out as you think they may. And it's just it just seems what's the word? Hacky.
Hokey.
Yeah.
Hokey, hacky, yeah.
Hokey, hacky. It just seems like this been done before, and it's just a bit played out. It's a bit trying to relive the NWO.
Well, the NWO had only just come back in like the end of the year, hadn't they? Like the end of '99. Sure, they did NWO 2000 for about a month.
Yeah.
Anywho, the disqualification rule has been relaxed for the night, but
refs have been told, yeah,
an ECW culture, and we get our first match of the night. Now, I'm gonna bring this up quickly because it's right in front of us for those that can see the VHS sleeve. They're spoiling matches on the VHS cover on the back sleeve. I don't know if you can see. Can you see it? They're spoiling results for you if you haven't already like watched it.
Oh right, because you've got Buff Bagwell and Shane Douglas versus Ric Flair in the total package.
Yeah, and it's a tournament. I mean, this is where it gets really crazy. This whole night, they're running two tournaments next to each other in the tag team and the US title, and the heavyweight title is a tournament final. So you're going to see, you know, same faces, and we spoke about this last week. If you see someone for a second or third time in the same night, they lose their appeal, they lose their aura. It's done and dusted. Fans will not keep cheering for the same people coming out over and over again. And this is another prime example of what happens. But we get to our first match pretty quickly. The Mamalukes, Big Vito and Johnny the Bull. Yeah, with Disco Inferno, Chris's second favourite wrestler.
I fucking love it. I love Disco, man. I love him. I just think, you know, he's got a really good shoot interview as well. Because Disco Inferno was also involved in quite a lot of the storylines and the writing for the lower card guys, because he felt that, you know, he got involved and was asked to get involved because obviously he felt that they were a bit left behind and there weren't really any storylines going for them. And he used to chuck ideas out and stuff like that. But in ring, I used to love Disco Inferno, also known as Hip Hop Inferno at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mamalukes, the Mamalukes with Disco Inferno against who?
Yeah. They make their way out, and tonight they're up against Ric Flair and the total package Lex Luger. And Ric Flair is in his day-to-day wear. He's not wearing trunks and robe and, not that beautiful peach colour that Chris has mentioned before.
Yep, no semi for me today.
Ico Pro, still doing business in 2000.
I fucking got that written down. I'm like, Luger ripped on the juice stroke Ico Pro.
And yeah, I mean, you do get a couple of bits here and there, like from Mark Madden at this point. He does call Ric Flair the best ever, but he says it's time for him to move on. And I think it could have been a fair shout in 2000.
I would say.
But Russo comes out just before Flair and Package or Luger, start the match and say that the playing field needs to be evened up. It's not fair that two crafty veterans can take on two newer guys.
Sorry, mate. You've glossed over the lovely Elizabeth ripping Luger's clothes off down the aisle.
Yeah,
you glossed over that. It was like, if anyone knows the Eurovision Song Contest and Bucks Fizz, it was like that. Like, only English people really might know that. But the way he ripped off his trousers and ripped off his top, it was bloody crazy, and he was ripped to shreds.
Jesus Christ, he was ripped. Now, Luger at the time was a heel as well, and you could tell that with all the posing, the music. It was all very heelish, and Eric Bischoff would, bring this up and say, look, they needed to get Flair and Luger over as babyface. So why not stick extra guys in the match to make it handicap? And they brought out the Harris twins,
who
have been Jacob and Eli Blue in our WrestleMania podcast.
Yep. There was Skull and 8 Ball.
Skull and 8 Ball as well, yeah, yep. In another one. And here they are as the Harris twins. And, oh, man, there's not a lot to go on. It's short matches all night. Let's just make that clear.
But, dude, the fucking Harris twins as well, right? I can't put this across to people enough. Ric Flair's wearing a fucking polo shirt and dress and like suit trousers, yeah? And dress shoes. Like, the dress shoes with the shiny, slidey leather bottoms on them? Like, them kind of fucking shoes. And he wrestles a few matches in them. The Harris boys turn up in T-shirts, suit trousers, and also dress shoes. So not wrestling boots or nothing. And these are
it's like nobody... It looks like it was written on the fly and nobody was ready to work.
Dude, it's nuts. I don't understand, first of all, how they weren't sliding around all over the place in the ring. They're like wrestling in winkle picker shoes, you know what I mean? With pointed toes, it is so crazy, bro.
And that is our first winkle picker reference across 10 episodes.
There's a line from Madden where he talks about, he says in one of the later matches, he's saying, what does he say? He says Ric Flair's dressed like a golf pro, and the franchise is teeing off, or something like that.
We'll get to Shane Douglas. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I knew you'd love it. The mention of his name.
You get a decent pop for Ric Flair chopping Johnny the Bull.
Yes.
Flair takes his top rope bump. It's all pretty. And I mean, you don't really catch it on camera, and they don't even replay it. But Liz drops Disco.
Yeah, that's on the outside. But
that's not.
He gets carried off. He gets carried off by two mafia types. Did you catch that?
2 goons, yeah.
2 goons. They're fucking part of the family. They come like this. Honestly, the pace of this pay-per-view. I'm a sound guy, right? I've studied at university, sound design technology, music technology, sound recording, right? And I also dabbled in Foley, which is sound effects for movies and TV and stuff like that. The sound mixing on this pay-per-view is just as hectic as the actual event itself. The volumes and everything, like, you can't always catch what the commentators are saying. You can't always hear it over the crowd mix. The volumes are not great. It is like, it's like chaos. Like I said to Jordan before we even started recording this, like, it was so hectic, this pay-per-view. Now, we make notes when we do this, okay? So if you can imagine, like, we're watching a pay-per-view and then we have to obviously write a couple of things down and take our eyes off it for a couple of seconds or whatever. Like, we've got, like, I've got 10 pages of notes for this.
I needed
Like,
a break. I had to
yeah,
stop halfway through.
Jordan, yeah, he had a break and stuff because it was, like, so full on. Like, the pace of this pay-per-view was, like, at plus 50, and like even the sound and the way that the sound was mixed and that was just absolutely insane, and it was frying my brain. It was absolutely, I had to do it in 2 parts. It was frying my brain.
Just to inform our listeners and viewers, I didn't go to university like my posh friend here. I got my learning on the streets.
On the streets, so, baby. And to be honest, like, you know, I still make music and I still do a few bits here and there, and I rap and sing and whatnot and produce tracks and stuff like that. But that's not actually what I do for a job. But yeah, I did go to university and study sound design and stuff like that. And it was just, it was just making my brain frazzle listening to how this, how it was mixed. It was just fucking busy is the word, isn't it? It was busy. Very busy.
And this first match is a mess.
Russo calls Lex Luger the very small package.
He does. He calls him a very small package.
I'll tell you what, this is a shout out to my friend, okay? Me and my buddy, Danny, all right? Danny D. We always called Luger, because of the amount of steroids that the guy has probably done, we called him Empty Sack Luger. It was like our name for him, because the amount of steroids he's done has probably obliterated his testicular area. So Jordan's just like, why do I do a podcast with this fucker? But it's like, you know,
Luger's balls, and we're not even 10 minutes in.
We're not even 10 minutes. We're not even balls deep yet, and we're talking about the very small package, Empty Sack Luger.
I do have one moment from Luger which cracked me up like to no end. He just stands there as Big Vito's going to the top rope. Luger stands there and just shrugs his shoulders whilst he's waiting.
Yeah, he just looks at him. He's like, he might as well have just looked at his watch. It was like cartoonish.
It's such a mess. There's a bit of decent agility from Johnny the Ball. And then Luger racks him. And we're done, and we're out of here.
I can't stop laughing, right? Because so many points in this pay-per-view, like even Russo, he turns up and he's got Ric Flair's Rolex on his neck chain that he stole in the last episode. Like, oh, dude, it is just so crazy. And it's not that there wasn't talent on this roster. There was clearly talent on this roster.
Well, there's a lot of talent missing as well from the show.
You know, but no one, there was, how can I put it? There weren't really no wrestling going on. Like, it was...
No,
it was very soap opera-y and very just busy. Just a lot going on. Like I say, we love Vince Russo, but like you said, it was too many fingers in too many pies. You know, there was too many cooks spoiling the broth at this point. I mean, was Kevin Sullivan even involved in any way, shape, or form? Because I thought he was gone, bruv, by now.
No, I think he's still around at this point, and I'm pretty sure Terry Taylor's got a job there still.
Taylor's there because he introduces, he tells Terry Funk where to go for the hardcore match.
Yeah, that's right. He tells him when Norman Smiley is.
Fucking great. It was probably one of my favourite parts. Fucking great.
We'll get to it.
Very entertaining pay-per-view. You know, as good or bad as people might think it is, it's bloody entertaining. So much so that I've got 2 VHSs of it. So suck out.
Mean Gene is with Mike Awesome. who has only just defected. I've forgotten a lot about this, so I went back and had a look, and you know, WCW had to pay ECW 6 figures to get him out of his contract. Mike Awesome debuted on the Nitro the week before Spring Stampede by attacking Kevin Nash. He was still ECW champion when he turned up. And this is something I didn't know. Mike Awesome is Hulk Hogan's nephew.
Is that correct?
That's what Eric Bischoff said in his podcast.
I did not know that.
I'm absolutely struck by that one.
But you know the funny thing though, Mike Awesome is probably one of the most rounded wrestling talents, I would say. He kind of had it all, dude. Like, he was he was a big guy. He could move. You know,
WCW really dropped the ball with Mike Awesome, and I suppose the WWEF did as well to that point. But yeah, Awesome is getting interviewed. Bam Bam Bigelow interrupts him. Bam Bam, you know, again, you forget who's still on TV at this point. It's a bit of a surprise. Calls him a jabroni.
He calls him a jabroni. But yeah. Bam Bam had worked in ECW for quite a long time, on and off. Bam Bam, one of the greats. We love Bam Bam on this show, and yeah, Awesome doing the promo. You know, there's a lot of in that promo itself. Mike Awesome says hell and damn about 5 or 6 times, and it all gets, you know, cut out and cut out.
Bleeped out. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't get bleeped. It just gets, you know, silence.
Yeah, Awesome jumps Bam Bam, and that's it. Like, we move on to our next match, which is, I believe, it's for the TNA heavyweight title.
It's fucking cheap pop central. This match.
It is. It's Jimmy Hart, who comes down to ring with a guy named Hale, who I never saw wrestle in my life, against local, occasional national radio personality Mancow.
Yeah.
And yeah, TNA title on the line. Sorry, I won't do that again. But it should have been a dark match. It's for the local.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's fucking terrible. It is truly terrible. It makes a mockery of wrestling, this match, and I don't often say that about gimmicky matches, but it was more the stuff. If you already think wrestling's fake, and then you watch this match, you're gonna be like, "Fucking told ya! Look at this."
Yeah, but it's
dog shit.
And we get to it in the match. Like, even the announcers aren't taking this seriously.
They call it a cat fight.
Mancow gets in 2 cheap pops with Chicago and whatever. Like, I'm really trying to be positive, but the quicker we get through this, the better. Yeah, Madden screams cat fight when they start rolling around.
Yeah.
Madden also calls this utter nonsense, and Tony agrees. And so do it's crap. They waste a ref bump. Ref bumps are supposed to be one on a big show, maybe.
Yeah, and there's about 5 ref bumps in this fucking pay-per-view.
And they waste one on this shite. One of the sidekicks for Mancow is called Turd, something I heard in the commentary.
Yeah, bro. Who the fuck? One of them looks like Odd Job, from. You know what I mean? He's like a slightly oriental-looking guy with a fucking bowler hat, and then you've got like another, like Akeem the African Dream, but an actual black fella in like a dashiki with like a walking stick.
Again, I only know that one was called Turd.
Yeah, but which one though, bro?
Probably the other one.
Well, let's hope it bloody was the other one, and it, you know, I was like, this is madness. You know, another thing about this show, bro, nothing is explained very well. We're just assumed that we know stuff. You know, we
got a video package beforehand of Jimmy Hart attacking him at the radio station
and hurting his eye. He had a patch on his eye, and it was called an eye for an eye match.
Yeah, Which brings us to our eye for an eye match coming up next weekend on Extreme Rules. Let's ignore Extreme Rules. Let's just scroll right past that. Manco uses a chair and wins. Who cares?
Yeah. No one's
And I've got
invested in this shit.
I've even got on my notes at the end of this. Fuck this shit. And then Kidman comes out and beats up Jimmy Hart. Like, there's no heat in this.
And they try to play it as if, Jimmy Hart and Hulk Hogan are inextricably linked. So
But
that's
Jimmy was
why.
the heel. Jimmy was the heel in this match, so they're not going to care.
No.
Like, yeah. But we move on. Russo is backstage. We get a lot of backstage skits, like we said. He's giving the telling off to Harris Twins and the Mamelukes for losing. And then we have our first match in the US title tournament, The Wall. What a name, The Wall. Against Scott Steiner. And Scott Steiner gets a good pop. Does he come out to the old Steiner music on yours?
No, I don't
We've
think
got
so.
the Steiner line theme.
Oh, Steiner line.
Yeah.
He does. Yes, he does.
I thought, what's going on here? Surely he's got better music by now, but no.
Dude, and Scott Steiner is absolutely fucking ripped at this point.
Here we go. I've got here WCW brought out a lot of Ico Pro.
Dude, this guy is juicy.
Jacked.
He's jacked. He's vein popping like a motherfucker. He's absolutely huge.
Yeah. This match is very quick. There's low blows by each of them. And then outside the ring, there's a table. Steiner pokes Wall in the eye. Apparently, Wall can't see out of both eyes after getting hit in one.
Yeah.
And he choke slams the ref through a table. Another ref bump.
Yeah.
Choke slams the ref through a table.
One.
And another ref comes in and it's a DQ, despite the relaxed DQ rules for the night. I don't get it. Waste of time.
I mean, like you say, we try and be positive about a lot of stuff, but if you can see in the video, I'm just holding my head in my hands. It's one of these ones where it was
not enough Dean Malenko on this show. That's what it is.
No, there's not enough Malenko. I mean, we were doing the sound check. We're doing the sound check at the beginning of the show, and Jordan says, the greatest wrestler, Dean Malenko, and I was like, check, not as good as Disco Inferno. Check. We love to have banter on this show. You know what I mean? We're just having a laugh, and when you watch some wrestling events, they're so tongue-in-cheek, you have to take it.
We got to have fun.
You've got to have fun, because if you can't take it too seriously, because you just end up ripping it to shreds. And this is what I see a lot of wrestling podcasts and wrestling interviews. They take themselves and the business too seriously, and it's fucking entertainment. And you've got to find it funny. You find good bits of wrestling, like even in this match. There was a really great classic Steiner belly to belly. Even the choke slam of the ref through the table was a great choke slam through the table.
This match was, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
A couple of little bits.
But there was a funny bit where at the end of the match, Big Papa Pump's in the middle of the ring, and the camera pans to him. And when the camera pans to him, usually they look at it and they say something, and you could actually hear his brain thinking, I've got to say something here. And he looks at, it's a fucking classic moment, because he looks at the camera and he just goes and just walks off. It's fucking great. And then in one of the matches, when he looked in another one of his matches, because he's just won, he's through to the next round, he looks into the camera, starts saying something, and he's halfway through it and they cut him off. And it's just like, the word clusterfuck was invented for this show, I think. I fully believe that. But we find it's entertaining. It's very funny. And I think I will probably, I don't often watch this show, but I think I'm gonna watch it again all the way through, but without making notes, because it was
Yeah,
literally I was having to stop it and like
I
write
was.
stuff,
Yeah, because it
and
was just
it's
too
like
quick.
yeah, I want to enjoy it. I want to sit because it's an enjoyable and it's a fun show. And it's funny in parts. There's a lot of bloopers, botches, funny moments,
Oh boy, yeah.
head scratching moments. It's fucking classic, man.
um, Mean Gene again. We get a lot of Mean Gene tonight. He's with the cat, Ernest Miller. Cat thought that. Now, does he say? Because I had to play this twice. I still didn't quite get it. I'm pretty sure he said that James Brown was going to be his opponent tonight.
Yeah, he said. I think he said, "Oh, James Brown's supposed to be here," or
Music
something.
legend James Brown.
Yeah, because James Brown did actually
He
show up
does turn up later on, yeah, in a
on a
different show.
on a different show. Yes, because
Um,
like I say, we've got me and Jordan. There's not much we haven't seen WCW wise, and like those things, But yes, he does talk about. And remember, so earlier on we had and this is the thing. The interviews are like they're cut in sporadically, and sometimes it's a little bit confusing. So we had the interview before where it was Mean Gene Oakland was with Mike Awesome, and they just assume that you know stuff. So Mike Awesome, his opponent was going to be the Cat, right?
yeah.
And then Bam Bam Bigelow, for whatever reason, comes and beats up Mike Awesome. So then now
Bam
we've
Bam
got
Bam jumps the cat in the interview.
yes, and then now Ernest Miller, the Cat, is having an interview, and Bam Bam comes and attacks him. So then you're
Yeah,
like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Because the next
replaces.
match,
Yeah, it Bam Bam just comes out and replaces the cat to take on Mike Awesome in the US title tournament.
yeah,
And straight away you get ECW chants. He was the ECW champion. He lost it to Taz, who was a WWF guy, and it was all just kind of in that week. Yet he moved over to WCW. It was pretty crazy. I've just got here. Awesome's impressive, man. Like his dive over the top was always good.
fantastic.
The mullet is strong. It's really strong.
The
This one.
mullet is strong with this
It's a
one.
good
Yeah.
one. You've got a big headbutt from Bam Bam. It's a tidy little match, and then Ernest Miller arrives. He comes out,
Can I
and
just? But before that, sorry, bro. Before that, there's a great part, is it, where Mike Awesome gets thrown against the rail and he doesn't realise the camera's right in his face, and he's talking to the people in the crowd. He's like, "Just move, just move, just move,"
yeah,
and then Bam Bam comes running in and he like throws him into the crowd and they start fighting in the flipped. He gets flipped on the chair. That is my favourite part of this match. So good.
I don't know. I think I can match it when Cat arrives
Oh yeah.
and he says, move out the way. He's going to put his red shoes on and he's going to dance.
Yeah, because he super kicks Bam Bam.
Yeah,
He comes in, he goes, even though he's holding his head, he's like, even though I'm injured, he's like, I still got to dance. And he goes, you just shut up and while I put on my red shoes. And he's got
yeah. He
these
puts on his
fucking
red
red shoes. and
slippers. Yeah,
he puts them on and he goes, hit my music. And then he just
he starts. Yeah, just having a little jig, and Awesome hits him with the Awesome Splash for the win.
Yep, a nice clothesline, an awesome clothesline, because he does a really great clothesline off the top.
Yeah,
And then he hits him with the splash,
he gets froggy. Yeah,
the
yeah.
1, 2, 3, and he's awesome. They keep censoring "damn" and "hell" because he keeps saying
Okay.
it. Mike Awesome. The problem. He's been used to being in ECW, so he's just
Well, I'm pretty sure he could probably say hell on most TV shows.
don't know, man. There was I mean, even in
And
America
even
now, in
damn.
some states, you can't say hell or damn.
Even damn, you probably say. I mean, they don't edit out any of this stuff. They don't on the network. They just let it roll. So I don't know what was going on at Turner's video department again.
He didn't cut no matches from this though. This is a good 160 minutes. This is a good 2 hour and 40-minute show. So we're all good for that. There was nothing cut out of this bad boy.
They've finally seen the error of their ways.
Fuck yeah, man.
We got a Vince Russo, Eric Bischoff backstage bit. It's nothing. It's something that you could have just left.
Russo just telling him to calm down, isn't it?
That's it. That's all it was. It was him telling him to stay calm or calm down. It's like, okay, that's 30 seconds just wasted. Like,
And they've
if you're trying to fill time, fuck, great. But
they've got Kidman with Tori Wilson just canoodling as well constantly throughout this.
Again, Mean Gene again he's with Bagwell and Shane Douglas.
The Buff Daddy.
And yeah, Buff Bagwell. Oh, we'll get to Buff because I've got a lot to say about Bagwell, and it's not bad. Like I'm very positive about Bagwell.
Love the Buff Daddy, man. You gotta love him.
But I'm not positive about Shane Douglas, the franchise, and I'm using that in quotes for anyone not watching.
What did they call him? The something dude.
Yeah, they do. Someone does call him the dynamic dude.
Dynamic
later
dude,
on.
yeah, because
as a rib, but like. Seriously, Shane Douglas, he was ECW heavyweight champion, and what did that he must have felt entitled to all sorts at that point. But he'll always be Dean Douglas to me, and that jobber that he got jobbed out on an episode of Superstars in the early 90s, stuff like that. I just whatever. Shane Douglas,
he can't draw a dime.
He couldn't,
as they say.
They're just shouting that New Blood's the future, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And we get to what is our next match, and this. Now I've read about this before, and I read that they called the Harlem Heat 2000 the worst tag team in wrestling, and I mean that's a pretty bold statement.
I mean, this new Harlem Heat are probably.
This is what it is, yeah. The new Harlem Heat: Stevie Ray and Big T. Formerly known as Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah.
But Ahmed or Big T had not been on the ICO Pro. Let's just put it that way.
Just quickly, bro, you got something on your screen there down the bottom.
On the bottom?
On your screen, it's about restarting to install Windows or something.
Oh, Lord. Don't need that, do we?
Restart tonight.
No chance.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
You're ruining our recording. Goddamn. Get Bill Gates in here. Fucking Windows 98.
Gonna start. I'm gonna get my chief mudhole stomper to.
The Stampede has become the Stomper. We're live, folks. We're fucking live. We don't edit none of this shit, man. We talk about testicles. We've got Windows things popping up. We don't give a shit, man. Chat, grapple, and cheap pops, son.
And yeah, we Big T, Ahmed
Johansson, yeah.
I don't think he'd not been on the protein shakes or anything. He's a big lad.
This iteration of Harlem Heat it's strange because you've still got Booker T in the company.
Yeah.
To which
but there's Booker's moving on from this.
Yeah, there's an interview literally straight after this match with Booker T, and he's in this pay-per-view. Also, Charmel's in it, but she's not called Charmel, is she?
No,
she's called.
She makes an appearance later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff, I will every now and again keep referring to the podcast that he does, 83 Weeks. He said he freely admits that Stevie Ray is saddled with Big T / Ahmed. And also you've got Jay Biggs and Cash with them coming to ringside. Now Biggs was like the lawyer. He also was part of the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, but he wasn't called that. What was his name in the Nation, man?
Biggs. Oh Lord, now.
I'm gonna have to quickly Google that because I can't remember. I do remember he was in the Nation.
And Cash is just this jacked up guy who I have
Clarence
no idea.
Mason.
Clarence Mason. There we go.
Clarence Mason. Yeah, in the Nation. Yeah.
And sorry, Harlem Heat 2000. Good God. Taking on Douglas and Bagwell in the tag team titles semi-final. And this is where I'm going to go off a little bit on Bagwell. This guy screams babyface to me.
Bro, he's buff and he's got the stuff.
From his entrance, you know, where he's all like wildly excited when his pyro's going off. I mean, this is a guy that broke his neck in 98 on Thunder. They brought him back, and he got some of the craziest pops for coming, like when he came back out on TV, and you know, in a wheelchair, and that saying he's going to be back and everything. It's like this could be your new top guy easily, without a doubt. And they bring him back, and they have him turn heel straight away. They lose every ounce of momentum on Buff. But we spoke about Buff before.
We did.
I think, on his original heel turn on Scotty Riggs, and how great he was in front of the camera.
But he had so much. He was even when he was being a heel, he was getting like face pops. Like they loved him because he's buff and he's got the stuff, dude. That's what, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He could have been so much more, and it still disappoints me that they didn't give Buff the sort of treatment he probably deserved, because he was so good in front of the camera.
He had that he had it, dude. He had it. He loved it in front of the camera. He had a great physique. He could talk. He was good in the ring. You know, he always had you know, good you know, ring attire. You know, he was absolutely great. You know, Buff Bagwell was, you know, they could have done a heck of a lot more with Buff Bagwell than they did. And it was disappointing that they didn't. I mean, I still think one of his greatest matches was that strap match against Johnny Riggs that we covered in one of our pay-per-views before. You know, it was a great match. That just showcased...
Except for that lousy American Males song.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got that on my phone or anything.
But yeah, it's a poor match. You know, again, we're going to keep stressing that there are a lot of poor matches on the show. Quick matches. There's zero reaction when Shane Douglas gets a hot tag. What a fucking shock that is. He hits a really poor fisherman buster for a 3 count. And that's it. We move on. I think Harlem Heat argue in the ring afterwards.
Yeah.
And and they quickly cut back to Mean Gene in the back with Booker T, or Booker as they're calling him. They argued over the letter T at some point in WCW.
He's named after Booker T. Washington, who's a predominant character, a real life person, Booker T. Washington. So
Booker says he's got some similarities with the New Blood, but he's not New Blood, and it's a pretty, you know,
it's a pretty meh promo,
it just doesn't get you amped up for the next match, which isn't that bad.
Next match ain't too bad.
Booker T and Sting.
Yeah.
And Sting gets a decent pop, you know, but Madden hates Sting. He hates on him a lot. So he's not giving the viewers at home anything to, like, you know, there's not a lot of love for Sting from Mark Madden. I've got here, it's not spectacular, but it's the best thing on the show so far.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, Booker gets thrown into a camera, or the cameraman, which is a good part of the match. But with all of these matches, I mean, even to a point, the main event, not long matches at all.
I think the main event's the longest match.
I think the fucking entrances for the main event are the longest part of the bloody show.
I put it was like a prime Undertaker match, you know, where you've got like 5 minutes of entrance, or a boxing main event, you know, where it just the entrances sometimes last longer than the fight.
Like Prince Nazim. Let's mention that guy, Prince Nazim Hamed. You know what I mean? His entrances, he was, you know, the Prince.
It's just, it's pretty mad. Like, you know, it's decent axe kick from Booker.
Yeah.
Sting's moving around a lot in this one. He's doing his best to get it over, and I think that's fair play to Sting. He doesn't have to put his working boots on straight away because he's, for whatever reason, we won't get into that straight like now, but we will later on. And yeah, it's a decent go of it. It's not very long. Sting hits the Scorpion Death Drop, gets the win.
By this point in the year 2000, I saw Sting and I was like, fucking yawn, son, yawn. I was done with him. I was done with Sting by this point.
Wow.
I was done with him. We'd seen him early 90s. Hot take, bruv. Because, it was just, my thing with Sting, right? Sting he's a guy who's been in the business a very long time, but Sting is only as good as the person he's wrestling. Can I say that?
Oh, I don't know.
He has his best matches, obviously, with better workers. So he can't really... There's not a lot Sting does, bruv. There ain't a lot. Hot take, I don't give a shit. We're here. You know what I mean? He's got his Stinger Splash. He's got the Stinger Splash. He's got the Scorpion Deathlock. He's got the Death Drop.
I don't know, because Sting works some good matches with Luger and stuff, and like Luger ain't the worker.
Meh.
Yeah. Not having it.
Not having it, bruv. I'm not having it.
All right.
Give me Disco Inferno any day. But you know what would be a dream match? Disco Inferno versus Val Venus. Give me that.
Wow. I genuinely wasn't expecting that sort of dream match to come out.
Dream match.
Venus and the Disco Man. Sting and Booker T have a fist bump in the middle of the ring. There's a little applause for it.
But the commentary team don't like it, or parts of it, because basically they're saying, look, Russo's given everything to Booker and he's thrown it back in his face.
The diss to the new blood.
Yeah, and you see something later on in the pay-per-view where he says, look, I'll let you get away with all the potatoing or the spudding, but he says potatoing.
Yeah. Doesn't know what fist bump is.
Yeah, he goes, I'll let you get away with all that. He said, but you got to fucking do me a favour. He talks about it later on in the pay-per-view. But yeah, this is just, it's just another Sting match, bruv. That's the way. There's certain wrestlers that I can just say, like, it's just another Sting match. Yeah, let me tell you who Sting had his best matches with. Kurt Angle in TNA.
Oh, fuck me.
Say something.
Oh,
say something.
I knew. I thought we'd already.
Fucking say something. No, he had fantastic. My favourite Sting matches are the ones he had with AJ Styles and Kurt Angle in TNA. And yes, he was at the arse end of his career. He joined TNA in something like 2003, 3 years after this. But he had some great matches there with AJ. Give a shit.
The preceding announcement was brought to you by TNA Wrestling.
By Dixie Carter.
It wasn't, thank God. It would have been a clusterfuck.
Dixie Carter's actually related to one of Ant and Dec. Did I say that before?
Yeah, we've been over that point.
Our American viewers probably have no fucking idea who Ant and Dec are.
There are a couple of clowns who have been on our TV way too long. I'll just clear that up for everyone.
But they are ready to rumble.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah. Mean Gene is with Eric Bischoff, Tori Wilson, and Kidman. Now it's a bit of memorabilia time.
Oh yeah, what you got? What you got, baby?
It. This is an Eric Bischoff, WWE Eric Bischoff, Ruthless Aggression.
Yeah, dude.
Series 12, still in its packaging. Why would you take it out?
Why? It's funny. There's guys that literally get mint on card things and open them, and just have them. They want them fresh. It's like, dude, what are you doing, man?
Not our style. If it's in the box, it stays in the box.
As we say in England, it's just not cricket.
Bischoff is worried that Hogan is on his way. Kidman's not worried.
Yeah.
Brings us to the next match.
He says, oh, if he wasn't, and they're trying to play out that the fact that Kidman went in and beat up Hart. Oh, if he wasn't going to come down before, he's definitely going to come down now after you've beaten Jimmy Hart up.
Oh,
Fuck's sake. Jeez.
Yeah,
when Hogan shows up, I'll tell you.
Vampiro and Kidman. Kidman's with Tori Wilson in the another quarterfinal match for the US title. It's a pretty quick pace. Although I'm gonna admit, like you have your hot take with Sting, I have mine with Vampiro. Didn't get it.
You're not a fan of Vamps?
No.
I think I think Vampiro. I like him. I like the character of Vampiro, but I think, he speaks fluent Spanish. He's got.
He worked in AAA and that, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got a Mexican missus, or did have. He's got a Mexican child. He's and let me just say as well, I don't think Vampiro is too well at the moment. He was there's he said that he thinks that he's got early stage dementia at the moment, because there was a video that came up online where he was really upset and saying, sometimes he doesn't know where he is or what he's doing or what his name is and stuff. And let's be honest, the wrestling business, these guys, some of these guys put themselves through shit, man. And yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, Vampiro, I enjoyed him. There's also,
I'll be honest as well. Wrestling business wasn't very clean back then.
No, you're correct, man. You're correct.
A lot of gimmicks and pills and all sorts of shit flying around. And
dude, you know what?
Yeah, isn't this the year that Juventud Guerrera got high and run around an Australia hotel naked, threatening to kill police officers and stuff? Is this
was that the year? Possibly,
yeah,
man.
I think it's 2000. Yeah.
Vampiro's done some crazy stuff, man. Vampiro's done programs on Mexican or Puerto Rican TV where he goes to haunted sites, all in Spanish. He's done seances and stuff. He was into Satanism and things like that. I tell you what, right? Vampiro's got some crazy stuff. And also, one of the guys that trained Jordan and myself actually appears in a Vampiro documentary that is online, because Vampiro came over to the UK and he did some Hammerlock and FWA shows. And yes, he's on a few of them, but we're not talking about British wrestling anyway for the time being.
No, we're not.
But also Vampiro was in a very strange little promotion, right? It's just every time I think of Vampiro, I remember him from this thing, because I believe he might have been their first ever champion, and it was Wrestling Society X. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, the one that was on MTV, yeah.
That's correct, right? Yeah. Wrestling Society X, it was fucking, for its time and what was going on, it was way before its time. It was just not really done by wrestling people. The talent that they had and the people.
It was like TNA then.
Well, yeah, but I still enjoy watching Wrestling Society X, and you've got Evan Bourne or Matt Bourne, who was in it. You had loads of people that are in AEW were in it. You had it was pretty good, man, and you had also Vampiro was in it. So yeah, I mean, Vampiro's like Marmite, you know what I mean? You love it or you hate it. And I mean, I liked Vampiro, but I think that's just because I used to have dreadlocks and I liked his hair. But he could work. But if you don't like him, you don't like him. Like Malenko.
I mean, he gels a lot better in this match with Kidman than he does later on when we see him.
There's some
crowd is dead.
There's some stiff shots in this though, bro. Some real. I think Kidman fucks something up and Vampiro gives him a stiff kick to the fucking chest.
He might have done. Yeah, I think I've got that here.
Pretty stiff
There's
shot.
a couple of, but even his kicks seemed a little little like, flaky to me.
Flately, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the crowd's dead until we get one of our biggest pops of the night, which almost proves Eric Bischoff's point about established stars, because Hulk Hogan turns up and the place goes nuts. And this is Hulk Hogan in the year 2000.
Yeah, this is the year 2000. Hulk Hogan, after being hit with a Hummer, he was in a car and they whacked into the side of the Hummer, because they're even saying, you know, Bischoff was saying, look, Kidman, it wasn't you that put Hogan in the hospital. It was the fact that he got hit with a Hummer that put him in the hospital. And he was saying, who discharges themselves from hospital, you know, after being hit by a car or whatever. And then, you know, Hulk Hogan turns up wearing the biggest gold cross I've ever seen in my life. It's like he stole it from the lectern of a church or something. This thing was like absolutely huge. He's obviously
get a cracking line. We get a cracking line from Mark Madden. He's here for his pay-per-view bonus.
That's correct.
I thought, yeah, that's it. You
That's
could end this
dude.
show now.
Kayfabe out the fucking window, year 2000. We know
Hogan
too much.
Hogan batters Kidman. And we get to a point where we have another untrained table.
Yeah. Yes,
now, I'm sick of these tables getting work when they're clearly not ready for it.
Correct, man.
Because, yeah, this table doesn't know how to work. Hogan tries to throw Kidman through it, and the table stands firm.
It's the announcement desk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's the announce desk. Another fucking green announce desk that doesn't know when to break.
Yeah.
And he has to fucking slam him on it afterwards to break it.
Yeah, just a plain slam just to try and break the table down. And Vampiro gets the win. That's it. It's Hogan decides he's then going for Eric Bischoff. So we get more backstage stuff. Hogan goes through a load of doors that lead to nowhere. He then finds Bischoff. Russo's there as well. A ton of police officers come in. This is guns. The first time I've seen. Yeah, Hogan sells the guns like he's never sold before. You know, the guns are trained on Hogan, and he's shouting, "I'm going to see you on Nitro." So it's an advert for Nitro.
I'm going to eat you alive. He says, "I'm going to eat you alive."
Yeah, at least he's not trying to eat his arse alive this time. Yeah. But he is going to eat him alive, and oh god, yeah, it is. It's I'll see you tomorrow at Nitro. I'll be there. It's just an advert for the next night. It's not pay-per-view stuff. It's a little bit of silliness. But once that's ended and Hogan's been taken away, Rooster Boy Terry Taylor is standing in the backstage halls,
and he's like, "What's going on? What's going on?"
And our little rooster snitches on Norman Smiley.
He fucking.
You know what happens to snitches, don't you?
He stooges him out, and there's so many stooges in this next bit as well. This is my favourite match on the card. I think
it's the most fun.
Yeah. It's the most fun. It's great.
Because our stooge Terry Taylor, Red Rooster Man, tells Terry Funk that he's hiding in catering. Screaming Norman Smiley is hiding in catering, and then Terry Funk decides to go and try and find him. He asks the whole room where Norman Smiley is, and they all point to one bit.
The toilet.
Absolute fucking stooges, a lot of them.
Stooged him out, man. Terry Taylor says to him, he's in catering having burritos.
Yeah.
He says he's in catering. He goes, "You're not starting your match in the ring." He's in catering eating burritos, or in burritos. I swear he says he's in catering in burritos or something.
Yeah,
and
it's Terry Funk and Screaming Norman for the hardcore title. It's a lot of fun. Funk empties the fridge on Smiley, and he just bursts open a load of cans of Coke and stuff.
He rips. He rips, these little cupboards inside the walls where they've got fire extinguishers. Funk just rips one of them completely out of the wall. He goes to open the door on it, and he don't know his own strength. He just literally rips it out of the wall, and there's a gaping hole left in the wall. It's fucking incredible. Like fire extinguishers, yeah, Coke cans. You know, he slides him in. You know, those little serving hatches in kitchens.
Yeah, he
You know,
slides him through.
slides him through.
There's a bit where Terry Funk ends up headfirst in a bin.
Great.
He uses a laptop on Smiley's head.
He calls it a slap. Go on.
They make the joke that it's Shivani's laptop, and
they call it a slap top. They go, there you go, it's a slap.
Yeah.
It's they go, oh, this is hardcore. No, he goes, Norman Smiley. 1 minute he's screaming, and then the next minute he's shouting and attacking Funk. He goes, no, that's hardcore. And then he goes, no, that's schizophrenia.
Yeah. Norman Smiley climbs a ladder to nowhere.
He like a pipe.
Climbs a ladder and holds onto the pipes.
Yeah.
In the arena, yeah, and Terry Funk does nothing apart from set up a table underneath him so he can fall through it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like it's just like, you know. And how old's the Funker at this point?
Oh, that's a good question. I do not know how old he is at this point. He's got to be 60 plus.
Because you look at you know, Beyond the Mat, where you've got Funk supposedly retiring and doing the ECW deal, where he has the freeway dance with your favourite, the franchise, and someone else. I can't remember who it is. But he to put ECW over, and he was supposed to get a really big payday from WWE, and he turned it down to put ECW over.
Yeah, that's Terry Funk. He's middle-aged and crazy, right?
I mean, like, yeah, you know, and he's old at this point, man. I mean, Terry Funk is, you know, I mean, Terry Funk's shoes, his trainers are even famous. You know, he gets choke slammed out of his trainers.
Yeah, King of the Ring, yeah.
You know, and there's a funny thing with Mick Foley where he talks about that, and all that shit's gone on in the infamous Hell in a Cell, and he falls through the cell, the chair falls on his face, and when he comes round, all he can see is two trainers, and he's like, where did those shoes come from? Like, he even says, like, he doesn't even know what's gone on, you know. It's but they were Terry Funk's shoes. He went in there to save his
buy
old
some time, yeah.
Yeah, incredible. You know, to buy him some time. It's yeah, Terry Funk's old at this point, man. He's done a lot, you know. It's year 2000, and the Funker is, you know. Yeah. Well, we get to what happens, you know. You know,
they eventually get to the ring.
Yep.
And we got time for Norman Smiley's wiggle, as they were calling it, where he bends his opponent over and starts
slapping dancing. His booty.
Yeah. It's it's a little bit weird.
It's weird.
As he's doing that, Terry Funk reaches back with a chair and just whacks him.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. And then Dustin Rhodes makes his way out and hits Terry Funk with a pile driver on a chair. I'm like, this man's like 60 plus, surely, at least. And he's taking pile drivers on chairs. Like, come on.
I mean, to be fair to him, he was putting his hand up and protecting himself with a few chair shots. He took quite a few.
He was, yeah.
He took quite a few unprotected ones, but he was even the Madden was talking about, oh, he's putting his hands up there, so he's taking the brunt of it, and then Shivani's like, well, no, he's still getting a little bit on the end of it, you know.
Yeah. And this is, it just gets weird. Like, Funk gets up, Smiley's, you know, Terry Funk drops a ladder on Norman Smiley.
Dude,
to get the win.
That final, because what happens, you know, Dustin gets involved, and then he ends up getting whacked by a ladder and falling. Funk ends up getting him and whacking him. He falls on the ladder, but then this big ladder, the final ladder shot is literally like Terry Funk holding this ladder at the bottom, and he just like fucking whacks him like it's a chair, like on the ground. It's brutal, and then Funk gets the win, you know. And Funk even did you see Funk's humping at the end when he won? He was like walking and doing like a little walkie hump thing.
Little dance,
little Funk hump. It was crazy.
Did you get the promo for the free mouse pad?
No.
See, good old Turner cutting a few bits off just for fun.
Damn.
There's a promo for anyone that bought the pay-per-view. If you sent in your receipt or whatever your cable bill, you would get a free WCW mouse pad.
Dude, I've got 2 VHSs. Where's my fucking 2 mouse pads? Mouse mats. Come on, man. I might even send proof of purchase of these. They've got barcodes on them. Jeez, one of them's brand fucking new. Jeez.
We'll ask Vince Russo if he's got any spare ones.
I'm sure he has.
Backstage, Vince Russo scolding Booker, tells him he's got to stop pissing Bischoff off, and that he's gonna redeem himself if he comes with him to do something.
Do a favour. Yeah.
Yeah. Next match, Mike Awesome and Scott Steiner. This could have been something special, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
This could have had a build and really could have been something good, and it became a throwaway. But we do get a few bits and pieces in here. Like, it's really quick again. That slingshot tackle from Awesome to Steiner.
Yeah.
I love that. I thought that was really good.
It was great. Yeah. Some really good stiff-looking moves in this match.
Yeah.
Really, really good. But it also looks like Scott Steiner's quite stiff with Awesome. At a couple of points.
Possibly, yeah.
Like at the beginning, Awesome's on the floor and Steiner's like elbowing him at the side of the head, and they look like a few of them are actually connecting. They're quite painful.
Get a decent sort of reaction for the run-in or the hobble-in from Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
He hits Awesome with a crutch because he had them.
And because Awesome hit him with a crutch the week before. Yeah.
Steiner puts on the Steiner recliner for the win, and I just think that could have been worth so much more. This one.
I mean, they weren't even. Were they going to have the old Kevin Nash Awesome feud then? That's what they were surely leading up for.
I'm sure they were leading to it, but it never got that far. Because Mike Awesome would get jobbed the fuck out. He became that 70s guy. Was it the Fat Chick Thriller as well? Is that the one? Yeah.
In Wrestling Society X, they had that 70s team.
I mean, yeah. They really ruined it with Mike Awesome. And WWF tried to, when he eventually switched over in 2001, they tried to get him over, and they didn't work as well. And the last time we would see Awesome was One Night Stand, and he still looked incredible against Masato Tanaka.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, Awesome was fucking. He was awesome. It was great.
And yeah, we get to Vince Russo in the back with Booker T. And he's arguing with Dustin Rhodes, and this is a pile of shit. This is.
It should have been so much better, because again, Rhodes went down to the match to obviously, because the New Blood wanted all the titles, and Terry Funk wasn't part of the New Blood, and Terry Funk had just won the belt, and he's having a go at him. He said, you can't do anything properly. I was the one that created Gold Dust. He talks about Gold Dust. He says, I was the one that created Gold Dust. I put those words in your mouth,
Yeah, and Eric Bischoff, makes a point in his podcast to say that Russo wrote this one and said he used it. It was solely to get himself over. He really hated it, this bit. Like he said, it was a complete waste of a skit.
Yeah, because he said
on the pay-per-view. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I put the words in your mouth, but Dustin saying, yeah, but I'm the one that did it. I'm the one that put it over. Yeah, right. And if I'm honest with you, fucking no one else really. I mean, people say that all the time. It's like no one else could have been Undertaker, but if someone else would have done it, we would have probably said that's the only person that could have done Undertaker. It's one of them weird ones. But I mean, I say with Gold Dust. I mean, I swear it was a rib. The gimmick Gold Dust, because his name was Dustin. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, let's call him Gold Dust and have him this androgynous, homoerotic character, you know, but really it's like some redneck who wears cowboy boots. You know, so far
He
away
was just a
from,
natural. Come on.
you know, but Gold Dust was one of my favourite characters.
Yeah.
You know, he was really good. Gold Dust was great. You know, and yeah, this whole thing was putting Russo putting himself over. You know, I was the one that wrote it, put the words in your
Yeah.
mouth. But you've got
It's,
Dustin chewing tobacco while he's speaking to him. You can see
it's
it in his
almost like
phone.
it's almost like he wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, it's like so
Yeah.
fucking crazy. He
Um,
fires him. They fire him.
Russo fires him. Yeah, he
Yeah,
fires him at the end of it, and
yeah,
there's nothing like nobody cares. We move on, like because Vampiro and Sting are up next, and it's that bit where you're seeing these guys for the second time, so the reactions aren't as strong. The commentary team are trying to put over that Sting. This is the old Sting. It's not, but they're trying. Get a nice splash off the top rope from Sting though.
yeah. I mean,
I quite like
at
that.
at the beginning of this match, so Sting comes running in and slides under the ropes, and then Vampiro starts kicking the shit out of him. But then Sting just all of a sudden, bam, just starts no selling. So he starts no selling, and Vampiro's hitting, and he's just no selling. And then when he starts attacking Vampiro, Vampiro starts overselling. Like, it's
Yeah.
really weird. And then you get Madden says overselling in this match. He says it. He says, you know, these guys, some of them are overselling, but these guys are actually beating each other. They're giving it their all. And then
Yeah.
Shivani says something about, what do you mean overselling? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, a lot of these kayfabe things popping up, you know.
I mean, I've got here Vampiro's offense. You know, it's pretty poor. Some of these kicks look pretty weak and
It was
stuff. And
lackluster, yeah. There's
yeah,
quite a major botch coming up to the end of this match as well. And you
yeah,
could see
Vampiro did not work well with Sting, and like he worked quite well with Kidman,
the
and they
brothers
just,
in paint.
I think yeah, God, that kept coming up, didn't it? I think it was just a clash of styles really that just didn't mesh at all. Like on their day, on their own, like outside of facing each other, they could have had a good match with someone else, but Sting and Vampiro just didn't click.
Yeah, there
And
was.
yeah, we get to finally get some Sting chants, but we get to a botch. Tell us all about it.
All right. Well, at the end of the match, obviously, it was someone had said go home, and then so Vampiro's jumped off the top to do something, and Sting's done it in a few matches before where they come off and he grabs both their legs with their legs apart, grabs their legs, and then he gets into the Sting Scorpion Deathlock from that. But what happens is they try and do that, but it looks like Sting falls over, Vampiro hits the deck as well, and they're both just lying there. So then they're like, oh shit, what do we do? And then, you know, Sting just gets up and just Scorpion Death drops him.
But this is the bit where I think that Sting probably saved the botch by putting the death drop on him and then the death lock.
Yes.
It made it seem it was a bit like he needed a bit more to beat Vampiro, a bit more to put and it puts him over a little bit. It's not that bad.
No, it's all right. And, you know, a lot of the time you wouldn't, you know, if you don't look into these things as much as possibly we do, you might not have even thought it was a botch. You might have thought, oh, Sting's tried to move out the way and he's caught a little bit of it and blah, blah, blah. So
Sting having to use both his finishers to put him away, like just it made Vampiro look better than, you know, he could have looked again if it just gone for that death lock. And yeah, it wasn't a bad finish, I thought, in the end.
that was all right. Yeah.
Mean Genes with DDP and Kimberly. The main part of this is that they're going to get Jeff Jarrett after what happened on Nitro or whatever.
Kimberly got hit with a guitar.
Yeah. terrific.
The booty babe.
Yeah, the booty babe. Yeah, we're going back there a few years.
Oh,
Um,
dear.
and there's no real entrance, but in the ring, we've got two members of 3 count, so 2 count. You've
2
got
count.
Shannon Moore and Shane Helms.
Was it Shane
Um,
Helms? I'm sure it was Karagias. I think it was
was it
Evan,
was
wasn't
it
it?
Evan?
Yeah, it was
I thought it
Evan.
was Shane Helms.
No, I did initially think it was Shane Helms, but then when you get a closer look, I think
Okay,
I thought it was Evan. I'm not sure. I had to double
well, it could
take
be
as well
Evan then.
anyway.
I thought it was Helms, but
Either way, it was
yeah,
2/3 of 3 count.
2 count. Yeah, two, 2 count. I was calling him 2 count now. 3 count. Lash LaRue, who I didn't rate. Oh God, yeah, the artist formerly known as Prince Eye Care.
You know, Lash LaRue draws cartoons now.
Does he?
Yeah, he's an artist apparently.
Well, we've got the artist formerly known as Prince Eye Care in this as well, with Paisley, who would
Yep,
later be Charmel,
Charmel. Yeah, she was one of the Nitro
Mrs.
girls.
Booker T.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
Crowbar
Yep,
with David Flair and Daphne.
yep.
Juventude,
The
Hoovy,
Scream Queen.
the Scream Queen. Yeah, yeah. Juventud Guerrera's here, and Chris Candido.
Yeah.
God love him. Yeah, in the cruiserweight 6-7 way scramble sort of match.
Excuse me, are you glossing over the 2/3 of 3 counts rendition of "Can't Get You Out of My Mind"? I think you are.
Well, they don't really sing it. We don't really get much of that.
We get one, and then they say, "Right, we're going to do it again," and then they do it again.
Oh, no, I didn't get this. I didn't get it.
No way.
No, they must have cut that off. Yeah, because I didn't get any of that.
Oh shit.
I got them being interrupted. That was it. That's all I
No,
got.
no, we got. Oh, sorry, man. I apologise.
Yeah.
No, we get a great rendition of "Can't Get You Out of My Mind." It was great, man. You know, they had their sweaters tied around their waist. I mean, it was. I fucking love 3 count. I don't care what anybody says. I love 3 count. You, you, as annoying. Think that what people don't understand with wrestling is right. He is heat.
Just quickly. Just does it take you back to when you had like your Backstreet Boys posters up in your room?
Backstreet's back, all right. Just leave them be, right? This is also let me tell you something. This is a shout out to my pal Adam as well, yeah. AKA Nephilim. It's a shout out to Ad. Like we used to work together, and when we were working on a Friday afternoon, it was quite busy in that, and we were having to bosh out a load of these bits and bobs, and we would often have Backstreet Boys on, just to keep us in that high mood to go, right, it's Friday, we're going home soon, we've got Backstreet Boys on, we don't give a shit, we're just loving it. So shout out Ad and those Backstreet Boys Fridays. And I know Ad's also a fan of 3 count as well. So if you're not a fan, I've got 2 words for you, right? Anywho, 3 count, that's right. So you know, I just love.
I don't get the music.
I love the 3 count. I love 3 count gimmick. And what people don't realize in wrestling is these people, they're supposed to be annoying. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be annoying. They're supposed to piss you off. You're supposed to look at them and cringe. You know, there was even girls in the crowd that were screaming in that though, like it was actual, you know, like they're actually boy band material. But it was just so great, like, you know, and Shannon Moore, as you were saying, it was Shannon Moore, Evan, and Hurricane Helms. I mean, Shannon Moore would end up being so far from this character in his future iterations. And also, Shane Helms would also be so far from this in his later iterations. He would be the Hurricane and all sorts. Shannon Moore would later be in TNA with the Book of Dillygaff. Did you hear about that old gimmick? The Book of Does It Look Like I Give a Fuck?
Oh, okay. No, I was.
Book of Dillygaff. So yeah, it's.
No, I didn't watch TNA, man.
I'm sorry, man. I fucking watch TNA like a lot. So when I see, you know, Shannon Moore, I think of him later on in life and that anyway. But yeah, like 3 count, they were supposed to be annoying, you know, and they did their job well. But this match has got so much going on. I didn't know what the heck was going on. So, who from 3 Count was actually in the match?
I've got here that it was Helms, but if it wasn't Helms, it was Evan.
Yeah, so that's because then you later see Shannon outside of the ring, and then you see either Evan. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna have to check this because I thought
Yeah,
it was I thought it was Evan, but maybe it was Helms. Maybe it was, dude. Because I thought that
um,
initially, that it was Helms.
we've
So
got a lot of Daphne screaming here.
I mean, she screams in people's faces.
Yeah,
It's just so crazy because you've got some. It's not really a match. It's just a lot of
I've got
scrapping.
here they're botching chops. That's how bad it
It's
was.
fucking insane, dude. And you've got Crowbar who would just whack himself with stuff, and like his gimmick was like he would do bumps in the ring
Yeah.
on himself. Like he would, Crowbar was just one of these weird characters in WCW that would pop up. He had matches with him and Flair and Daphne, like these stretcher matches that would happen at certain times. So yeah, I mean, we had Crowbar, Lash LaRue, Chris Candido, Juventud Guerrera, the artist formerly known as Prince Ikea, Chris
Jesus.
Candido, we said before. David Flair gets involved in this as well. It's
Yeah,
fuck.
David Flair chops. I think it's a Helms, Evan, whoever it is. Um, we have our domestic violence moment of the evening where Hoovy tries to hit Daphne with the Hoovy driver, and yeah, it doesn't hold up very well.
Yeah, she gets pulled
The
out the ring then
dives,
and screams in his face.
yeah, how bad were the dives? This is cruiserweight matches are known for their outside the ring dives and stuff, and these were just hideous.
This match should have been a spectacle. This match
It should have
should
been.
have been calmer to start off with and built up. You've got people that can work. I mean, Prince Ikea, in your
But
opinion,
there's yeah, not Prince Arcade.
is an add-on.
There's a lot of people missing from this show who are under contract for whatever reason. There's no Mysterio, no Chavo Guerrero at this point. Like, some of the better cruiserweights who could have done a lot more with this.
The
And
cruiserweight belt was always a belt that, and we'll get to who wins it, but you wouldn't think that the person that wins it would be the one that would be the cruiserweight champion. Do you get what I'm saying?
well, I mean, I get it, but he's the best character out of all of them.
I mean, yeah, but
He's got the most character.
I think it's also who comes with him.
Yeah, as
Who,
a I'm already there with my notes because I said the dives are awful, and I get to the bit where we have a surprise guest.
yes, I mean, I'm there too, dude. Yeah, let's go home on
Yeah,
that one then.
Tammy, formerly known as Sunny, Chris Candido's girlfriend, fiance, whatever. I
Wife,
don't know. Yeah, I
whatever.
don't know wife at this point. She helps Chris get the win, and it's horrible. It's a bad match,
It's terrible.
and we get Paisley and Tammy. Paisley attacks Tammy, and Shannon Moore and the ref try and get involved, and they both get their nuts grabbed.
Yep.
We get our obligatory shouting of cat fight. It's
Rip the
just
clothes off. Rip the clothes off. That's what they were saying as well.
yeah,
Rip them off. Rip them off.
it doesn't hold up very well, does it? Like
Yeah.
now, like, and yeah, it's that's it. It was a surprise sort of thing for Tammy to turn up in WCW. They don't last very long, if I remember correctly. The old habits came in, and yeah, that's the cruiserweight title out of the way because that
It was
was bad.
For me, that was the most disappointing match on the card for me, man, because it should have been so much more. I mean, like I say, it should have been so much more. It could have been so much more. There should have been some other people involved as well. Why was there only 2 of 3 count there? No one tells us. Why? There
That's
should have
the
been more
big
people.
questions.
That's the big question, dude. Why is there only 2/3 of 3 count there? So yeah, I mean,
Gene's with Double J, Jeff Jarrett, or the Chosen One. He tells Mean Gene, he says, "Don't be a wise ass," with me, old man, and he calls Gene an old Geritol slap ass.
Yeah, and he says I'll knock your liver spots into next week or something.
Yeah, we'll get to Jarrett later on because there's more to say about him, but he's not bad on the mic. He's just
it's all right. It's just Jarrett, isn't it?
I just don't think he should have been. Well, I don't know. Actually, maybe he should have been the Chosen One. I mean, who else was there going to be?
But his arrogance is the arrogance of the character of Jeff Jarrett is what sells it a lot of the time. To be fair, it's just that arrogance of his character. Like, ain't I great? It was that whole.
I much prefer Double J. The country music singing.
What, JERRETT?
That's right.
I used to love it when he'd say, Jeff Jarrett. That's JEFFJARRETT. It rings in my head still from them days. And the light up glasses.
Oh, it's beautiful stuff.
Beautiful.
Tag team title final, team package against Douglas and Bagwell. There's a sign behind Flair when he comes out that says "Got Viagra."
Yeah.
I like that. Just in case, like they thought that Shane Douglas couldn't get any heat, they decided to have Russo come out with him. Russo gets into the commentary booth. Now, here's my problem. For someone that looks as strong as Lex Luger and as beefed up, holy shit, his offense is weak.
Oh, I mean, Luger's probably...
You could see daylight in some of them punches.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, he's not working snugly at all, and
No.
you'd think a big guy like that, you'd be working kind of snug, kind of tight, make it look good, but like you say, daylight shining through, dude.
Yeah.
It's... And Luger's the biggest I've seen him in a while in this. He was ripped.
Oh, it's massive.
Absolutely ripped.
There is a side feud here with Flair and Shane Douglas, that Shane Douglas was always bad-mouthing Ric Flair wherever he went, on any platform. He would.
8 years they've waited.
I don't think Flair gave a fuck.
No, he was like, who the fuck is, they kept saying, 8 years they've been waiting for this and Flair's been hiding from him.
Yeah,
right.
Okay. Like, yeah, I don't quite believe him. Yeah, Scott Hudson calls him the dynamic dude. That was a nice one. Nice little sucker punch. Tony Schiavone at one point, I think he responds to Mark Madden or even Vince Russo, just says bullshit.
Yeah.
They don't even make it out.
That's right.
Shane Douglas gets into the corner above. He climbs Ric Flair, is about to land some punches and shouts, "Fuck you, Flair."
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And it doesn't get over. Like, no one cares.
That's right. It's not ECW.
No, it's not. And Eric Bischoff says himself that the heat between Flair and Douglas, which was mainly on Douglas's side, was too insider at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't. No one give a shit.
No, it wasn't going to sell any extra pay-per-views.
No.
So, what was the point? Flair botches his first corner flip, so he does it again and gets through. There's another botch. They botch a blockbuster. Buff misses, and I think he gets Douglas, but doesn't get it properly, and it doesn't look great. And we have another run-in because we haven't had enough of these tonight. The two Bryans, Adams and Clark.
Yeah.
They would be later known as Chronic. What a great name.
Yeah.
They double choke slam Lex, and Vince Russo half puts on a referee's shirt inside out and counts to 3. Like, and there you have it. Like, another match thrown away. Like, but it wasn't very good anyway. Lex isn't working at this point. He's there for his pay-per-view bonus, for sure.
It's funny, right? when Lex Luger went to WCW initially in the first episode of Nitro, JR talks about on his podcast. He says, look, obviously they had the surprise factor, but they weren't really bothered that they'd lost Lex Luger because they thought, what really are we losing? They tried to get him over. He tried to get himself over, and they fucking couldn't get. So they were like, basically, all right, you've got the surprise factor of him popping up, but really, we're not losing nothing, man. It's like, and like I say, I've never. I think I've said this on another paper. I've never been a fan of Luger.
Well, yeah, it's what 27 years since the WWF strapped the rocket to him and let him have him body slam Yokozuna on. Yep. Yeah, and it was off to a great start, but then it fizzled. It fizzled by SummerSlam.
Lex Express and all that, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They tried
That'd be a
everything.
fun show to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. That'd be good. It didn't like Luger he does get himself over again in 97 and 98, but then it falls away again. And by 2000, I don't think anyone's really caring. They're only noticing how beefed up he is and how jacked he is. And speaking of jacked, Mean Genes with Scott Steiner. Steiner says he represents himself and not the new blood. He's a genetic freak, and that it's.
He says, "You see that vein there? That's bigger than one of Sting's arms."
Yeah, and I mean it's massive. And Sting says that Scott Steiner will be the next casualty. Like, okay.
It was just so bang, 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 bang. Yeah. There was no build into these matches, so no one gave a shit.
And it's a US title final. Sting sort of gets the crowd going. Him and Scott Steiner, this is. One thing I noticed here, that Steiner is really enjoying himself baiting fans at ringside.
Oh, loving it, yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting it on.
For it.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed it because Steiner clearly doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, he's the genetic freak, bro. Please tell me that you're aware of that famous paper, the promo of Steiner's, though, when he talks about, in TNA, where he talks about, Sting, you've got usually you've got one-on-one, which is a 50-50 chance. That whole spiel promo thing.
No, I've not.
It's become like a meme. It's become like a meme. This Scott Steiner promo where he talks about, when you're facing me, it's not a 50-50 chance. It's an 80-20 chance. But then you take that 20% and then you half it because I'm the genetic freak and blah blah blah. And it's just like a load of dog shit mathematics and percentages, and where it comes out with Steiner on top. It is just insane.
I will try and find it. Steiner mathematics.
I'll send it to you. It's become a meme. It's like, but it's what happens when you don't watch TNA, bruv. You know what I mean?
I just can't keep.
Dude, I've got my TNA annuals right there behind me. I don't give a shit. I've got.
I have a TNA annual. I've never read it. And I think I've mentioned before, I have a TNA T-shirt that they gave to me for free.
Yeah.
Because I was never paying for it. Yes. The ref gets a stinger splash. How many ref bumps is that?
That's three good ref bumps. A stinger splash, one for a table, and then another dog shit
in
one.
The Jimmy Hart Mankind. Yeah. Vampiro comes from under the ring, cuts a little hole in the ring, and pulls Sting down to hell. I didn't like it purely because it's just, we've already seen it a few times.
I didn't like it because they didn't cover it very well. You didn't really see him emerging, not properly. Secondly, when Sting comes back up from being underneath the ring, he's clearly just bitten a blood capsule inside of his mouth.
Yeah.
And it's fucking like them cheap shit ones that the kids get for Halloween. You know them ones? Like, It's just bollocks, man. At least cut yourself, you fucking... At least It's still real to me, damn it. Just make it real.
Steiner wins with the recliner and wins the US title. Like Sting sort of just rolls out of that hole in the ring, and Steiner just that's done.
Dude, this is the final for the US Championship as well. It's like, fuck's sake, like, you know, it's annoying.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any more fun, we are at the main event. And yeah, we've already touched on this, but these entrances lasted forever.
Yeah. It's like
you're showing them walking through the halls. Yeah, it's like a UFC entrance where you see them walk from their dressing room to the aisleway, and it's like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I digress. DDP looks pretty motivated here in this match.
Yeah.
You know, DDP. I think that some places they mentioned that he's doing his best work here in 2000. I don't think that's true. I think he was probably on top of his game in '98 when he was challenging Goldberg and stuff like that. I think that was some of DDP's best stuff. Like,
I also believe when he came into WWE with the Undertaker, "Make Me Famous" shit.
Oh wow! See, no, I don't really know anyone that talks about that quite a lot. Like, it is a good. I mean, I like it personally, but I don't hear other people mention that.
No, dude, I fucking loved it, man, because he was stalking the Undertaker's missus. We didn't really know who it was, but we kind of did. And then he turned up and he took the thing off, you know, and he's like, "Undertaker, make me famous," you know, and they, you know, that was pretty good.
But they obviously fucked that up because he got a massive pop when he took his mask off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're screwing up your big chance to make him a heel by having him just unmasked like that. And the pop was huge. I remember that one.
Huge pop, absolutely huge stuff. You know, and like I say, I can I show you a bit of memorabilia while we're here?
Let's do it.
This is some DDP.
Oh, he's got a bruiser.
I've got a DDP.
That's that WCW logo, like the newer stuff. Yeah, like what I like to call the newer stuff.
1999. This came out. This figure.
Logo. Yeah.
So this is a Diamond Dallas Page WCW bruiser from around that time. Just something that we can chuck in there when we're talking about, you know, the Diamond Dallas Page Toy Biz figure.
Mark Madden's calling him DD Me, saying how he's
talking about his book.
And so his book, and got a really nice spinning clothesline from DDP. Kimberly gets involved. She slaps Jarrett. They go into the crowd, and this looks like fucking chaos.
It's mental, dude. Can I just say as well, DDP's music from around this time was a blatant rip-off of Nirvana, "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
See, we don't get this on the network. They've completely covered this with something else.
Yeah, no, it was a blatant rip-off. Blatant rip-off of Nirvana, "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
But yeah, the WWE network refused to play it. They just play some generic sort of rock theme. They go into the crowd, and I don't think production were ready for it because there's no camera going with them, and it just looks so chaotic. Like, the fans love it; they're getting right on top of it. It looks even like security aren't even ready for it.
There's a guy on. Yeah, sorry.
I don't think they were aware of it. I don't think they knew it was coming.
There was a guy on the phone that was right in front of the camera, like, on the phone, just trying to get involved in the thing. Like, it's absolutely crazy. There's two guys fighting in the crowd as well. Like, you see them, like, one of them's got him in a headlock, and they're just like doing that to each other, like, in the background. It's absolutely crazy. Big
DDP chants when they're in the crowd. You know, it was one of the best bits of the match, I think.
Great, man. And
I've got here. Both guys are working really hard.
They're trying.
They know they're the main event. They're doing everything they can to get this over.
And rightly so. I mean, Kimberly gets called a scurvy wench.
Is that Mark Madden?
I would have thought so, yeah.
Jarrett goes for a chair, doesn't pay off. He does get DDP's back, and they mentioned that DDP's always had like back and rib trouble. He was wearing
Yeah,
rib tape from like '96 onwards, I think.
that's right. Yeah.
Madden's still laying into him about his book, and like, it's like
Don't they tear
this
it
is
up?
where I think this is where I think Madden lost a bit of his, like, all the good work he'd done throughout the evening. It will just sort of like he lost it when he just was laying into Page throughout the main event. I just thought, you need to keep it, keep it simple and like not have too many shots in. Just one or two digs would have been fine.
Just a few choice ones here and there.
It's not like Bobby Heenan going after Bossman's mother, or
Stu
Jerry
Hart.
Lawler going after Jerry Lawler going after Stu Hart. Yeah, like, I mean, that's the level you were looking for, and Madden sort of like dropped off in this one.
Yeah.
What a sit-out powerbomb from Page.
It's good.
I really like that. Yeah,
I love DDP, man. It's great.
Page is excellent. Bischoff comes out and stands in the aisleway. Doesn't really get involved yet. And then they're back outside the ring. Jeff Jarrett and Page are, and there's a guy standing there holding Positively Page, the DDP book. He's holding it up.
Yeah.
Jarrett takes it off him and just starts whipping pages out and chucking it on the floor. Now, I got to believe that the guy is obviously planted, but
yeah,
still pretty funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Jarrett gets crotched on the ring post. Now I quite like this because it was a decent false finish. The belt shot by Jarrett.
Yeah.
And DDP for a 2 count. I thought, you know what, I'll give that one a lot of credit.
Because DDP went for the cutter, but Double J held the ropes and stayed up, and then he run out, got the belt, give him the shot.
Yeah,
it was good.
Really good.
Good.
Jarrett puts on the figure 4, and then Kimberly gets the guitar.
Yeah.
And this is where the finish just didn't work, because she was standing there with the guitar for ages.
Yeah.
Too long.
She
was just standing around. Like, I think she maybe jumped her cue.
Do you know what I mean? We'll get onto it, but I'll tell you the way where I would have written it, where it would have been better. But anyway.
Yeah.
Go. Sorry.
DDP hits the diamond cutter, and then I've got this just because it's a Russo word. Swerve, bro.
Swerve, bro.
Yeah. Kimberly hits Page with the guitar. These whacking great guitars that apparently knock people out cold.
Mm-hmm.
And Jarrett wins, and we got big celebrations for the New Blood, who've won every title apart from the Hardcore title.
Yeah.
And it's big celebrations, and that's where it cuts out for me. It just says we're out of time. Like, that's it, we're done.
Yeah, that's it, the same thing. Do you know what I would have done it? I would have done it better. Let's just take you through, right? So we've got both of them in the figure 4, and they were in the figure 4 for a long time, okay? And you've got Kimberly standing. You've got either side of the ring. You've got Bischoff one side, and you've got Kimberly the other side. The side that Kimberly's on is where Double J is, and the side that Page is on is where Bischoff is, okay? What I would have had done is, when they were in the figure 4 leg lock, okay, I wouldn't have had her grab the guitar yet. So you can imagine they're both in the figure 4 leg lock. Okay?
That's where I think she jumped her cue. I think
she jumped it. But what they should have done is, as they were in the figure 4 leg lock, right, you could have had Bischoff come up on the side of the ring to get the referee's attention. And then, as they're still in the figure 4, Kimberly could have got the guitar and then given it to Double J in the ring. So as they're in the figure 4, he could have then taken the guitar that was given to him by Kimberly, whacked Page with it while they're in the figure 4, and then Bischoff jumps off the ring, covers them, gets the 1, 2, 3. She gets in the ring like she didn't even do nothing, but everybody knows she did. Great finish. Fuck off.
I got an easier one that gets there a bit quicker.
All right.
Whilst they're in the figure 4,
yeah,
and Bischoff is distracting the ref, she gets in with a chloroform rag and just puts him to sleep. Ref counts 3 whilst he's in the figure 4. Done and dusted.
Yeah, but they had to get the gimmick guitar in, bro. It's Double J.
Oh, sod the guitar, man.
It's JEFFJARRETT.
It's a shit prop. That's what it was. But yeah, that's the end of our show. That's the end of Spring Stampede 2000. It feels like it started in 1998. But what did you think?
I just have a laugh with it. This pay-per-view.
That's where we are.
That's where it wasn't structurally sound. The matches weren't fantastically great. The whole way it was very hectic. It was very busy. There was too much going on for anyone really to follow. But it was entertaining, and as I said, I will watch it again where I don't need to make 10 pages of notes.
Oh man, yeah.
It's one of them ones where it's enjoyable to watch as a fan of wrestling. It's at the time it was probably better, but there was just they nothing stood out because they didn't build anything up, and it was just too choppy. It was just too choppy, but nevertheless, it was entertaining. You had Hogan getting his pay-per-view bonus. You had, a swerve bro at the end.
Yeah.
You had someone come out the ring. You had cheap Halloween children's blood capsules. You had it all, man. You had it all. I'll tell you, one bit was really great as well from the videos at the beginning as well, when Hogan got hit with a chair by Russo. He got busted open hard way with a chair, and as he was getting counted, you just had a bead of blood just pop out from his head, and it looked fucking amazing. It was great stuff. But yeah, I mean, the build up around it, the whole thing that Russo had come in with Jarrett and, taken over the thing with Bischoff, and, the whole New Blood Millionaires Club thing. It could have been done a bit better. But yeah, I mean, like I say, we find the good in all.
We do. And next episode, we've picked out a pretty good one, I think. We did talk about doing a double header with the show that follows straight after, but that might, if we come up with 10 pages for the first show, we might not be able to squeeze it all into a couple of hours.
Spoiler alert, you're getting our next episode exclusive, and it's only because it's episode 10, because we don't usually do this, but you're getting it.
That's right. Episode 11 it's going to be the gravest challenge. Survivor Series 91. This is, I mean, for me, this is the peak WWF stuff.
Good stuff.
This is the stuff I was, when I was 4 years old, I was watching it. This stuff was crazy, and we get to talk about some of the biggest angle of 1991 with the snake bite. And we have talked about covering Tuesday in Texas as well, but if we get 10 pages off of the Survivor Series, we can't obviously fit that all in.
Yeah.
But Chris, you're going to remind us where people can find us?
You can find us on all major podcast platforms, so Stitcher, Listen Notes, Google Podcasts, iTunes Podcasts, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, did I say that? Just every podcast platform. I've lost my bit of paper with it all written down, so now I'm having to commit them to memory. And also on YouTube. We love doing this video. We love doing it video. So thank you for everybody who's listening to it.
If I can time this right with the way that we've been fixing around with the videos, you can subscribe right here, and you can watch one of our videos here.
Yeah, dude, that's nice, because our last 5 videos have been doing really, really well. We're trying to get people to listen to our earlier ones to get those up to where we are with the new ones, but things take time. We're not going to get there straight away.
Some of those earlier ones that haven't picked up steam, I mean, we have been amazed that we've had so many great views on some of the other ones, but like I said, that Bad Blood one was, for us, it was one of our favourite ones, and we'd love for everyone to go back and listen.
It's
So
a great episode. Really, I mean, it wasn't. It was a very poignant pay-per-view, and there's a lot of heartfelt stuff going on in there. And like I say, it was one of our episodes that we thought was really good. So if you go back and watch those as well. But yeah, dude, we're gonna keep them coming. This is episode 10. We love doing the video side of it because then we get to show bits of memorabilia like we have, the DDP figure, and Jordan pulled out some memorabilia as well, his Bischoff figure. So we love doing the video side of it. We really enjoy it. So we're going to keep on keeping on with YouTube. We're going to try and wade through the masses and masses of wrestling podcasts, and we're going to try and put our heads above the water so you can see these two mugs. We're going to keep them coming.
So yeah, thank you for anyone that's still awake, still watching, still listening. Yeah, we haven't put you in the ground just yet. Remember, like, subscribe, comment. You can catch us on Twitter. We're very active on Twitter, but there is a Facebook group now. You can also catch us in there.
Boom. Yes, there is. So you can catch us on the Facebook group, Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops Podcast Facebook group. Come and join us there. We'll be posting episodes. We'll be having little chats, little conversations about this and that and t'other. Please help us. If you watch this video, if everybody that watches it or has watched multiple ones, please subscribe, because like we say, once we get above that 1,000 subscribers, we will be doing our Chat Grapple and Cheap Pops giveaway. That will be happening 100%. So please subscribe, get us up to that 1,000, and then we will do our subscriber giveaway, and everybody who's a subscriber will be in that competition, and you could have a chance of winning some of this fantastic memorabilia that myself and the main man JB has got.
And yeah, that's it from us. Thank you to anyone still watching. I'm JB, he's Chris.
Yep.
We'll see you next week with Survivor Series 91.
Yeah, dudes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be safe,
Take care,
and
guys.
we'll catch you soon.